Live easy.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Thursday, April 17, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us this Holy Thursday. We've been tracking Portmore's parish push, and as reported, there was concern for the parish's boundaries that they may be in breach of the Constitution as polling divisions may be affected. This led to a legal row between the two major political parties. But a parliamentary committee meeting with the Electoral Commission of Jamaica revealed how electoral boundaries will be remapped. Courtney Lewis joins me on set with the latest.
Well, Nika, as Portmore officially moves towards becoming Jamaica's 15th parish, major groundwork is now underway to redraw electoral boundaries. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica gave an interim update in a Constituency Boundaries Committee meeting on Wednesday. The ECJ's Director of Elections says they have begun the technical process to define what this new parish will look like on the electoral map, but as for the timelines for this project, the Commission still has no confirmed dates for when the realignment will be completed. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the ECJ, has begun the process to establish new boundaries for St. Catherine as Portmore becomes Jamaica's 15th parish. Director of Elections at the ECJ, Glasspool Brown, says fieldwork using GIS technology is underway to construct a new electoral map guided by an advisory committee.
To achieve this accurately, our team will be physically walking the boundaries, accompanied by guides and key stakeholders. And secondly, it is critical that when we do that work, we capture the GPS coordinates for the new polling division boundaries within the parishes of St. Catherine and Portmore.
But Portmore's progression to parish status is not without major changes.
To establish these new boundaries is necessitates a number of changes, and these changes encompass splits and mergers for existing polling division. It also will require the renumbering and potential renaming of St. Catherine constituencies affected by the alignment. It also will require the renumbering of associated St. Catherine electoral division.
Among the critical tasks ahead, the renaming and renumbering of the 3 new Portmore constituencies, an agreement that must be reached between stakeholders. A written submission detailing descriptions of polling divisions is also required, alongside proposals from both the JLP and the PNP.
Hopefully, an agreement can be reached by all members of the Parish Boundary Advisory Committee. In a case, though, where no agreement by the Parish Boundary Advisory Committee, an established procedure for accepting agreement be with a consultation between the nominated commissioners and the Director of Election.
Failing agreement at that stage, a revised draft outlining constituency and electoral boundaries, as well as polling division numbering, will be presented to the Parish Boundary Forum for MPs and caretakers to sign. The General Secretaries of both political parties will also need consensus. But the question of when these procedures will roll out lingers.
There's a significant amount of work that needs to be done. We have not yet arrived, we have not finalized a timeline as such. We're working on those. As soon as those timelines are available, certainly when we come back on the 31st of May, we'll be able to provide the committee with a better indication of the timeline.
Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
As the governing Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, seeks to maintain its grip on power and the opposition People's National Party aims for a comeback, all eyes are on this critical seat of St. Elizabeth Southwestern. Historically, this constituency has been a bellwether, generally reflecting the mood of the Jamaican voters. Andre Jebinson reports on the electoral significance of St. Elizabeth Southwestern.
13 out of 13 contested general elections since independence. The party that has won the St. Elizabeth Southwestern constituency has gone on to form government. St. Elizabeth, known as the breadbasket parish, has a notable history of producing agriculture ministers. Dr. Christopher Tufton and the late Roger Clark are two of the most recent former ministers. Currently, Floyd Green serves as the agriculture minister and represents St. Elizabeth in a seat identified by CVM News as a marginal or battleground constituency. An examination of the past 4 electoral cycles in St. Elizabeth Southwestern reveals that most of the margins of victory have not been particularly close. So, that might raise the question about why this seat is considered marginal. In the 2007 general election, Dr. Tufton won his seat by a substantial margin of 1,825 votes against Stanley Redwood from the People's National Party (PNP), who is a former president of the Senate. However, Dr. Tufton's tenure came to an abrupt end in 2011 when he lost to Hugh Buchanan of the PNP by a mere 13 votes, a result that triggered a magisterial recount. Buchanan's victory was significant as it continued a legacy. His father, Donald Buchanan, had previously served as MP for this constituency from 1989 until his retirement in 2007. Green re-secured the seat for the GLP by a margin of 2,056 votes, making his predecessor Buchanan a one-term MP. Green's win in 2020 increased his majority by 46 votes compared to the previous election. So why is St. Elizabeth one to watch this year? The results from the 2024 local government elections have prompted both sides to reassess their chances. The GLP and the PNP secured 2 divisions each, raising questions about the GLP's hold on power. Previously, the GLP had controlled 3 of 4 divisions in the constituency. At the end of local polling in 2024, the GLP secured more votes than the PNP. But look, only by 218 votes, which translates into approximately 1.5%. The PNP is particularly focused on reclaiming 3 seats in St. Elizabeth, this being one of them, with educator Miranda Wellington aiming to teach the incumbent lawyer a lesson in this electoral battle. The GLP, on the other hand, is striving to grow with Green. Andre Jebinson, CVM News.
A teenager was among 3 people shot in a brazen afternoon attack at the intersection of Hill Avenue off Olympic Way in Kingston on Thursday. Reports are that at around 12:30 p.m., a group of people was gathered at a stall in the area when 2 armed men approached on foot and opened gunfire. The incident left a 14-year-old girl shot in the head and 2 males injured. All 3 victims were rushed to hospital. Their conditions remain unknown up to news time. Police have launched an investigation into the incident. CVM News at 7 continues in just a moment.
Yes, miss.
I need you to go to the Transport Authority for me today to renew all the motor vehicle road licenses. I can't afford for you to spend all day at the Transport Authority. I have a lot of errands for you to run for me today.
Miss, you don't hear them say I can renew online any day, anytime, easy.
No, but that sounds good. What do I need to do?
You can always log on to ta.org.jm.
Oh, that means we have a lot more time for you to run other errands.
Boy, miss.
Let me check it out. Ah, easy as 1, 2, 3.
Pepperoni, Hawaiian, chicken chunks, vegetarian. There's no pressure to choose with Pizza Hut's amazing 4. You get 4 juicy flavors with 1 less choice to make. Pizza Hut, now that's delivery.
2 musical dance. They do. Straight. The line of response to a big part of my career. Hot in the club. Bring back the big tune one more time.
Immaculate Girls came up with the name Renaissance.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's something that one that's so hard to spell.
Yeah, tell you, here you go.
Man, I said, jail you there in a youth, I want to you. Him a what? Singer? You know how long we want a radio.
Vegi, why do you think it was a good idea for going to Gino Jennings' church?
Remember, say beat me on that, you know.
No, but it's a funny clip.
Me know, man, but
we are talking about reality.
The Cut, brought to you by Flow.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Crime in Portland has left many stakeholders concerned and prompted a recent meeting to ferret out solutions with haste. The once peaceful parish is confronted with numerous challenges influencing the climb, among them illegal migration from war-torn Haiti. But could there be more to it? Despite major reductions in crime since 2024 and many of the grittier police divisions, including St. James and St. Catherine, recording notable declines, Portland's peace appears to be under threat. East Portland Member of Parliament Anne-Marie Vaz addressed the elephant in the room at a recent stakeholders meeting hosted by the Portland Chamber of Commerce.
It doesn't matter what is the background to the murders that we have been having. The fact of the matter is, as citizens in Portland, we're not used to it, and it is a matter of concern for all of us. The business people here, we are the leaders in this parish. You employ a lot of citizens between all of us, and I think we needed to meet with you to hear your concerns, to hear your suggestions, and most importantly, to hear from the Ministry of National Security as to what measures will be put in place for us to curb this in the shortest possible time, because we here in Portland do not want our reputation to be tarnished by the few that are committing these heinous crimes.
She notes with horror the situation, as many locals do not even know what are burglar bars. Mrs. Vaz says it's the hope of the law-abiding citizens there that the scourge will be brought to an end in short order. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has committed more support for the crime fighters in the parish, adding the spike, though relatively small, is cause for concern given the former serenity.
That is operational officers in Portland. When you see operation, it's the visible part of much more activity. The special operation team that's sent anywhere just by virtue of a report.
He also addressed the matter of crime allegedly linked to Haitians entering the parish illegally and in some instances not for the much touted human rights and asylum reasons.
We have had to put the entire Coast Guard fleet roving along the northeast coast of Jamaica. But they bring local problems. Two of your homicides are a result of a domestic issue between two Haitians. So different causes from the other five, which are local citizens. But they are a source of problems because they bring guns. And they still have someone, the whole movement is not strictly innocent people jumping on a boat and jumping up north with a sailboat and float down to Portland. It's heavily organized, and the organizers push guns.
Meantime, Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake committed to wresting the parish from the criminals before the crime figures grow more terrifying.
The number of murders is relatively low when you compare it to other divisions. It is unprecedented here in Portland. We have had circumstances before where low crime divisions have started looking like how Portland is looking now. And unfortunately, we didn't pay the type of attention that is required to it until, as the minister mentioned, we have to start curing rather than preventing. And certainly we won't allow that to happen here in Portland.
Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett, along with other key stakeholders, is looking forward to a 10% increase in revelers from last year's 10,000. Adrian Williams raises the details about an impact assessment, telling what to expect after last year's $95.4 billion and employment contribution to the economy.
As we chip closer to the carnival celebrations in the island, an economic impact assessment was done to see just how the activities have played a role in the country's economy. Minister of Tourism Edmond Bartlett announced the results from the findings, which showed a $95.4 billion contribution to the economy in 2024.
Findings before us tells an extraordinary story of growth and impact. In 2024, Carnival in Jamaica generated a direct economic impact of 4.42 billion Jamaican dollars. When we factor in the multiplier effect, that is the indirect and induced impact, Carnival's total economic contribution to Jamaica in 2024 reached an astounding 95.4 billion Jamaican in its total output.
Carnival bands hired approximately 55 permanent staff and engaging over 1,750 part-time workers, but the impact on job opportunities was far greater than that based on the study.
Our economic analysis indicates that through direct, indirect, and induced effects, Carnival in Jamaica supported approximately 115,247 full-time equivalent jobs throughout our economy in 2024.
Council member for the Jamaica Tourism Linkages Council, Kamal Banke, also addressed the emphasis generally made on cleanup after Road March and Juve activities, saying last year the numbers surpassed expectations.
This year everybody knows and understands and expects exactly what the numbers are going to be. I've had discussions with all the stakeholders, not only the bands but also the government agencies and JCF and everybody. They understand where the carnival is this year. And we've had several meetings and discussions and dialogue with National Solid Waste and also private cleaners and of course the KSAMC and the mayor and so on and so forth to ensure that compliance is at the highest level.
So whether playing mass or setting up a stall for the various activities, Carnival 2025 is expected to deliver an uptick in benefit to the country's cultural and creative industry. Adrian Williams for CVM News.
There's lots more to come in CVM News at 7 right after the break.
Person you admit this. You can't know now. Breaking news.
We are diving into the world of creativity. If you come here well dressed, we can help you work.
You can't live none, feel it on.
We are going to be having an amazing time with this boss lady in her corner office this week. Well, I'm a sweat.
I'm going to put English truck, then I come with AC. You know, so you're not going to bantan my thing. You're not bantan my thing.
I'm sweat. I know you must come murder.
Brunswick boneless sardines, perfect for snacking, on a cracker, on its own. Snacking made easy, snacking made healthy, snacking made tasty.
Pedestrians, stay alert. Keep your head up and stay off the phone while crossing the road. Don't be a distracted walker. Every step matters. Look out before you step out. A message from the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport.
Hey Paint and Play family, join us for Paint and Play's Easter egg hunt on Sunday, April 20 at Artisan Village, Falmouth. Enjoy canvas painting, fun family activities, unlimited bouncy house fun, and the ultimate Easter egg hunt. Don't miss out. Call 876-310-5159 or visit paintandplay.com to register today. See you at Paint and Play.
Welcome back. What happens when love fades but the law won't let go? A spouse's attempt to move on is tangled in legal red tape as the spouse needed to finalize divorce settlement is missing. In this week's edition of Query This, Shantae McNeil explores the options you may have for safely moving on if you fear committing bigamy.
Query this. Your marriage has long lost its spark. You've been separated for a while, and now you're ready to close that chapter. The divorce papers are in hand, but your spouse is missing, gone without a trace, and his family silent. You found a new love, a fresh start calling your name, but the one thing stands in the way, a signature. And with no idea where your husband or wife is, you're stuck. The fear of committing bigamy hangs heavy. What would you do? Would you risk moving on with your new partner?
If you can't find the man, you have to move on because you can't stuck. Because you can't find the man, maybe you're lost in the system.
At a certain time, you put him in the cleaner. You can't set him. It's almost like divorce. So you can't hold the ties to me.
I still go and live my life all when the legal thing I go on. Because I can't stay for days and wait for that and hold back my life. Because everybody life moving, you know.
I do carry my paper to the lawyer and tell me I can't find about me ready to move on with my life. Can nobody not sit and wait for nobody again? Them there a long time something.
The main thing to consider here when it comes to moving forward is the risk of committing bigamy. That's the act of marrying someone while still legally wedded to another. It's not just a moral dilemma, it's illegal. And under the Offenses Against the Person Act, it's a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison with or without hard labor. Now, if you find out that the person you're married to marries someone else, there are ways to obstruct its progression, according to attorney at law Michaelia Green.
You're able to make an application for nullity. Now, an application for nullity is signaling that the marriage is void, and of course, you set out your reasons for that. Especially if you're in a situation where you have discovered that the person you have married is legally married to another person.
But what happens when the issue isn't a cheating spouse, but one you've lost love for and one that has disappeared? Legal options exist when you are ready to move on.
It's very important to get the services of an attorney at law who will advise you and take the next steps in order to file an application for substituted service, where the notice of proceedings can be published in a popular newspaper in order for the general public to be notified that the ex-person is seeking to get a divorce against another.
In order for its success, one must prove his or her marriage was legal by presenting a marriage certificate and must have been married for at least 2 years and separated for at least 12 consecutive months in order to file for divorce. And that wraps up this week's edition of Query This. If you're facing legal issues in marriage, with a neighbor, at work, or business, remember, Jamaica's laws are there to protect you. Want to know your legal options? Email me at cmcneil@cvmtv.com and let's navigate the law together. Until next time, I'm Shantae McNeil.
Now to what's happening online.
So, what's caught your eye online today?
Legendary sprinter Asafa Powell has stated that his children will not represent Jamaica on the track unless the country improves its support systems for athletes. He even hinted that if he had to choose again, he might not have run for Jamaica himself. Here are some of your reactions. At Egyptian_Royal Prince Comments, who says your kids will be successful athletes. At We So Car Post, he needs to give thanks for what he got and stop counting chickens from eggs not yet hatched. At Chrissy Keelia Aji says, not even him did a run for Jamaica, he was running for himself. Diamond League him run and win. At Mr. Unprecedented adds, you people always get on the feelings when someone speaks about the condition of Jamaica and how they feel, then try to guilt trip them to say they hate the country. At Willis Jam shares, good riddance. Other promising children will have a chance to shine. Best you pack up and go on with them from now. At 876 Twizzle writes, he is speaking as a father and not an athlete. He wants what's best for his children. And that's what's trending in our online community. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM Television on Facebook. I'm Courtney Lewis.
Well, to tell us what's to come in sports, we have Ronaldo Adams. Hi, Ronaldo.
Hi, Nika. Good evening. Yes. So, in sports tonight, quick preview, very cricket-centric. The West Indies women, they have a very slim chance of qualifying to the World Cup. However, well, they have a chance, but it's not in their hands. In other cricket news, the Jamaica's under-15 cricket team, they won their first match. We will also review some of the matches, the match that was played earlier in the Jamaica Premier League. And it's Thursday, so we'll have our weekly magazine feature on court.
All right, there you have it. Lots to talk about in sports, but you'll have to wait until after this break.
McConnell, CEO of Trading Citrus. I'm here with my production team making our newest product, True Milk.
True Milk is made with 100% cow's milk from their own homegrown, naturally fed
production team,
processed and pasteurized at their state-of-the-art factory in Buckwalk. True Milk is 100% cow's milk with no additives. True Milk is the real deal. Take it from the experts.
Move up to the best milk ever. True Milk, truly the best.
Real Paris, I go give you plenty healthy ways to switch up your meals. Fresh flavor, that's what me need. A new recipe every day of the week. And look how good me feel. Come catch the vibe. Real Paris, catch the seafood vibe.
Hey, when we party, we so unique. Small enough, we drink it, we do it. So make we start it. You best believe we go be linking in Miami.
Buy a Smirnoff Vodka 750 or 200 milliliters for a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to Miami Carnival, Gen X costumes, tickets, weekly prizes, and more. Just take a pic of your receipt, scan the barcode, and upload to enter. Go to Smirnoff.com for more details. Smirnoff must be 18 years and older. Drink and live responsibly.
New KFC saucy wings tossed in savory mango habanero or buffalo sauce. KFC, it's finger looking good. The time by KFC is
7:30.
Welcome back. It's time for the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today about a new era of luxury on the island as a scenic peninsula in Montego Bay prepares for a project set to elevate the residential and lifestyle hospitality sector to new heights of opulence, with the announcement of a landmark agreement that provides a unique opportunity for Jamaica to enter the branded residence market, supported by the world's second largest operator as Ennismore in a joint venture with Accor, which holds a majority share, committed to the introduction of two of its globally recognized brands.
Accor, we've wanted you so long.
we're happy that you have finally landed in Jamaica. And we're excited about Ennismore luxury brand and what it will bring into the destination, and what it will also do to lift the quality of the offerings that we have. In the 50s, we were seen as the playground for the rich and the famous. And all the major stars and luminaries of the world came to Jamaica during that period. The tectonic shift that took place in global situation redefined tourism in Jamaica, literally did it for us. And so we locked into the Club Med concept, and later the all-inclusive concept, which really was a business model. Now we are at an inflection point in our tourism. Last year we had 3 million stopover visitors, which equated the population of the country. That is a ratio of 1 to 1. That created what we call a critical mass, which enables the flow-through effect of the tourism dollar in the economy to begin to be realized. But it did something else. It attracted the attention of some big players who now realize that because of this critical mass, they can make investments into Jamaica. The eyes of the world are now looking at Jamaica from a luxury lens, and that's significant. It's time for us to look back to where we began and to start the luxury definition of Jamaica. And I think Pinnacle represents the first of that important step.
Accor, the artisans of hospitality, are currently present in 110 countries and outside the US and China, is the #1 hospitality player in number of rooms, with over 840,000 across the world. Accor entered a joint venture in 2021 with Ennismore, a global collective of entrepreneurial and founder-built entities that maintains an ecosystem of 15 brands and 184 open hotels, with operations in 40 countries and over 25,000 team members, including Jason Shying, Executive VP Development Americas Ennismore, who welcomed the new synergies being made in entering the Jamaican market for the first time.
We're very excited for Accor and Ennismore to be part, and humbled to be part of this visionary project here in Jamaica, Montego Bay, Jamaica. This partnership reflects, our commitment in bringing culturally rich, lifestyle-driven hospitality in a new destination while supporting local partners who align with our values. This project reaffirms our commitment into growing in the Americas. It has been a huge step for our growth in this particular region. We've been, growing quite rapidly in the Americas, and from an aspect of growth, very selective of where we go about growing the business. And with this opportunity with LCH and Jamaica as a whole, with its rich culture, this was the right entry point into this marketplace as the evolution of the luxury lifestyle part of the growth, the demographic shifts, and your rich history of what was historically a destination yourself. Yes. We want to help and be a part of that reinvention for the island, the country in itself, with our particular product, right? And I think it is the landscape and the global landscape of what's going on in this world where we hope to being a part of that.
Tanya Golaub, Chief Operating Officer of LCH Development Limited, one of the leading mixed-use real estate developers in Jamaica, invited an immersive vision for the new benchmark of luxury in Jamaica.
This signing is the beginning of a journey between LCH and Ennismore that goes beyond the architectural beauty. Ennismore brings world-renowned brands. They have a reputation for flawless service and a unique ability to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences through exceptional food and a gold standard hospitality model that is refined, personalized, and consistently excellent. We believe that luxury is not just about what you possess, but fundamentally about how you live. In effect, time is the ultimate luxury. It is with this understanding that the collaboration between Ennismore and LCH is something increasingly precious in its delivery. It is effortless living. I would like you to picture waking up every day to a sunrise over the beautiful turquoise seas of the lagoon and the lush green mountains of the hills of Montego Bay, where you enjoy the ease of moving from your home, maybe to a meeting or to the spa or gym. Why not lounge at the rooftop pools or at our lazy river, or enjoy a game of pickleball at the courts? Do you need fresh cut flowers in your rooms or your grocery shopping list complete? Your dedicated concierge service is here to assist with the most intimate of details. This is more than just a development. It's a true partnership that is built on a shared commitment to excellence.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
Stay with us for sports with Ronaldo Adams right after the break.
Holy Road people, the last episode of season 2.
And we have special surprises in store.
This is where everything ignited. There's so much memories. I can almost tell you what happened on each seat.
Yeah.
Fell asleep on the one in front of the preacher.
This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be amazing.
In the bad?
I'm not bad in our rude.
He had that impact upon his life, and I believe it was just an anointing that was placed upon him.
Two musical dance. I do. Straight. The line of response to a big part of my career. Hot in the club. Bring back the big tune one more time.
Immaculate Girls came up with the name Renaissance.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's something I wanted so hard to spell.
Yeah, tell you go.
Man, I said, jail you there in a youth, I want to you. Him a what? Singer? You know how long we want a radio?
Viegi, why do you think it was a good idea for going to Gino Jennings' church?
Remember, see, beat me on that, you know.
No, but it's a funny clip.
I know, man, but
we are talking about in reality.
The Cut.